What's going on, YouTube? It's Donnie B all day. We're gonna try and beat the rain today with a very specific question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, while I like the egg better, the chicken came first. Here is my U.S. Army K-bar fighting knife, right? So at almost 12 inches long with a 7-inch blade, it's 1095 Crovan high carbon steel. This blade steel is phenomenal. The leather handle wrap, classic to nature and just awesome. You can see right there I got U.S. Army here. It's got a partial serrade K-bar stamp, Olean, New York. The leather sheath, you've seen it probably when I held it up there. U.S. Army K-bar up top. One thing, I'm a leather sheath guy, and one thing that displeases me about this sheath is in this area here where the actual tip goes, this leather is mighty thin. And it feels like it won't be too long before I end up breaking through there, but it hasn't yet, so let's not complain about it. Let's talk about this blade right here. This fuller, deepened, false edged, highly sharpened, crazy cool, nice and thick, awesome freaking fighting knife blade. That is, wow. Check it out. Check it out. Man, that is shave sharp. Awesome. Now this knife was brought to the Marines in 1942 for World War II, right? This was their fighting knife. And it was adapted by other military agents, you know, after that. And that's good. It was good for what it's for. But there's something about this that drives me crazy. It is not a fighting knife. This is a badass knife. This is a multitask, do a lot of different things with knife, but it is not a real fighting knife. And I know it's going to piss a lot of people off because they're so stuck in the tradition of it all. But guess what? This is more of a survival knife than a fighting knife. And there's a reason. This right here, the weight and the rear of this on this pommel is so heavy. And on this one, the K-bar Big Brother, it doesn't matter because it's so, the blade is so big that it sends all the way to the front. A fighting knife, you need weight distributed to the front so you can get the power behind the swing. Not only that, but you want an even weight for recovery. Because all the weight is in the rear here, it's so light in the front as you swing because this is guiding you, not this. So naturally you want to hit with the pommel rather than the blade. If you turn it, it's a better fighting knife than if you hold it in your foregrip, right? As a fighting knife and holding it out in front of you, it's just not as capable as a lot of other knives. Will it still get the job done? Hell yeah. Do you want this going through your body? But you're gonna lack the go-through power because there's just not enough weight to where if I want to hack off a limb, this isn't going to be the one I choose for limb hacking. I mean, forget it. I don't want to be cut with it. This'll get any kill job done, any knife fighting job done, but it's not a real fighting knife because of the weight distribution. Again, here I can make it a lot more easy to use in that sense. But I just wish that the front had a little bit more weight than the rear. And it just literally comes down to recovery. If I open my grip, the OK grip, this blade doesn't want to turn properly because it's just so flimsy up here, and this is telling it where to go rather than this. I want this knife, the blade, to spin instead of the pommel to spin. You know what I mean? It's hard to explain, but if you know fighting knives and if you practiced and if you've indulged in the arts all your life, you know the difference in the feeling and what it means. That being said, I'm not taking anything away from this knife because it is freaking phenomenal. I mean, this is a knife. It is more, I'd say, of a hunting knife than anything else. I mean, if you want the greatest hunting knives, this one can be thrown in any of those categories. And what I want to do now is I want to go do some things with it. Now, chopping is going to be a little difficult because of the weight in the front. Just like the fighting knife, you want to be able to chop with it. Same thing with chopping. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to choke way down to get a good chop with it, just to send more weight up front. But I have no doubts that it's going to perform well. Maybe the balance test might not be so good. Maybe the throwing might not be so good. But if I need it for 100 other tasks, it's going to be perfect. So let's go play around. All right, so while it loses a little bit for me in the lop stuff off department, man, let me get a good spot here, is the sharpness and the sliceability picks it back up. So we're going to do a little slice through a soda can rather than a water bottle, okay? Gosh. It doesn't take much to see what just happened there. That's one swing, no more soda can. I mean, completely split in half, no problems. And I'm not gonna, guys, I've used this a lot. This isn't brand new out of the box. You can see little scratches on the blade if I hold it in the right light. I've used this. I've never put on a secondary edge. I've never had to retool it, nothing like that. That cruised through that can like it wasn't even there. So let's keep going. All right, so I told you it's not a chopper, but can you chop with it? Oh yeah. So if you okay the grip, and you're not gonna do this in a knife fight, right? So this, I can use it here, just not actual knife fighting, but the blade is so sharp and so strong that by using the proper grip, it becomes a chopper. If I'm holding it here, like I would do knife fighting, right? Look at the difference. I'm hitting hard as I can. Guys, look at this. And that's knife fighting, right? This is how I'm holding it. You can hear the hit. Barely anything. Okay grip? Look at this. It is tearing it up. And this is the only way I can show you and describe to you what I mean about not being a proper fighting knife. A proper fighting knife, if I hold it like this and chop, it should go straight through. I shouldn't have to do this, because if I'm fighting a man, this is not how I'm holding my blade, right? And that's important. And it's easy for me to sit there and say it, and then you guys think, oh, I'm just being a dick and I'm down in the blade. No, that's proof is in the pudding. You hold it like this, there's not enough weight in front to chop. Hold it like this, now you put all the weight in the front and you chop. And that's what separates it from good fighting knife from great fighting knife, you know what I mean? It's just not a great fighting knife. It is a great knife. And speaking of great knife, let's see how the great knife does against vacuum hose. Like it wasn't even there. I'm telling you, you okay grip this thing and you can chop through freaking walrus skull. It's a very, very capable knife. So let's reach back here and let's get some. Oh man, the meat of this. Now there's no jimping on top of the spine. There's no choil, and I love choils, but there is a nice flat area where you can rest a finger and you can get your thumb on top of that spine. You can shave with either the flat part of the blade, or if you really want to dig some wood out, use that that serrade. That serrade is amazing, and it's a stay sharp serrade. It's the round serrade that stays sharp forever. They did an amazing job making that serrade. Let's see, and of course that's something added to the blade that wasn't there in 1942. But here we go. So we do a little bit of that action, And now we're going to just use the flat of the blade, and we're going to, wow, they are so thin and so fine that I can't even keep them on the freaking stick, right? So that's the flat of the blade. Now we're going to feather stick with the serrated part of the blade, and it's just wants to, here's the problem, that serrate is so freaking awesome, it just wants to dig in. I mean, I've made probably 50 feather sticks, and I have 3 on there because they're so fine, they're just shredding. Let's see. I mean, talk about making short work of something. Here it is. Okay, so we need to make a trap. You need to dig a pit. You need to put some spikes, or you need some of those cool Rambo spikes. You know, swing flat. This right here, you dig a pit, and you throw a bunch of these spikes in there. Whatever's walking by isn't going to see it coming, and holy crap. So now what I want to do is I want to do the drop test, and I'm going to throw it down. Normally when I throw it, it's to test the strength of the handle, see if scales are going to loosen. This is going to be obviously to see if the pommel loosens. This is a K-bar. I don't think I'm going to have a problem. I'm wondering on the drop test, which is what I do to test balance, if the rear is going to pull or if it's going to have enough. So stay with me there. And it actually drops pretty well. Let's see. All right, it leans a little bit. It seems it's on its way down. If I was up a little higher, that thing would definitely be going, but dropping is pretty good. Now let's pry, and pries really well. Now remember, it is a clip point, so don't pry too much. Look at this. Look at that. You see why you guys are down there? Because this thing just caused a freaking earthquake. Holy moly. Did the tip bend and all that? No, it's still awesome. Let's keep going. All right, guys, so here we are at some trees. Now I got some dangly vines here, and what I'm going to try to do is grip it, and I want to see if I can go through this vine free standing, because it's kind of loose. So normally what's going to happen is you're going to hit this thing, it's going to move, it's not going to go through. We're going to see how this does. Yeah. Apparently K-bar didn't get the message. So here, let's try a couple of that right there. Let's try one of these up here. I mean, it's a K-bar. It's a freaking K-bar. Now, this is the one I already hit down, right? There's the broken end. There's no way in hell I should be able to cut through this because it should just push away. K-bar didn't get the message. That's actually pretty well cut through too. So I mean, I'm trying to think of what else I could slash here just because it's so great. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the spine. I'm going to see if I can knock down one of these branches here. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Let's see. Look at the dent I put in that thing. All right, guys. It's a freaking K-bar. Do I like it as a fighting knife? No. Do I love it as a freaking knife? Oh, yeah. This knife is awesome. It's so fun to use when using it other than what you're made to believe it's to be used for. This is multitasking, multi-purpose, multi-fun freaking awesomeness. Let's go try and throw this damn thing. All right, guys, I have my doubts as a thrower. However, this thing surprises me all the time, so I'm not going to say it's not going to work. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I've never thrown this thing before. I've had it for quite a long time, so why I've never thrown it before, I have no idea. But we're going to do that today. Normally, if it's something that I'm not too sure of on throwing, golly, that's nice. What I'll do is I'll go 3 yards, but I'm going to give it a full 5-yard twist here. You gotta be shitting me. Remember that whole thing I said, I don't know how it's gonna go, blah blah blah. Well, K-bar said, WLD, all D. Donnie B all day. Shut your face. This thing is awesome. Let's clean off some of the sap. They say God made dirt, dirt don't hurt. I don't know about that, but it sure does clean off sap pretty well. I freaking love this knife. All right, let's keep going. All right, guys, so here we have it, the K-Bar fighting knife, U.S. Army stamped. Just awesome. You see it sitting there next to its big brother, the K-Bar Big Brother. I'll be doing that one pretty soon, but today it's all about this guy right here. I knew going into it how much I already loved it, so it was no surprise to me that I enjoyed wielding this and using this and doing different things with this. What it can do and how flawlessly it can do things does surprise me. A 5-yard throw on the first time without trying to figure out that pommel. All right, that was kind of impressive. I enjoyed that. Hitting that okay grip and chopping. Oh my gosh, it chopped. I told you it wasn't a chopper. I'll tell you what, you put that okay grip on and that chops just as good or even better than any of your regular survival knives, like you upend survival knives. Like look at the SE6, the Steel Wheel Roamer, the Top Silent Hero. This thing in the okay grip chopped better than all of those. Fan-frickin-tastic. Now, of course, holding it in the foregrip and chopping it like a normal person, not going to work. The weight distribution is just not meant for it. But you choke down on this thing, and it's like having a small hatchet. It is amazing. And not only that, but the thing is just freaking pretty. It's a great looking knife. None of the leather loosened in my tests. The pommel didn't turn on me, nothing like that. And honestly, I don't think it can, because the blade end comes through flat and not round. So, I mean, kudos to K-Bar. It's just, I mean, making it right. Not right as just a fighting knife, and I know that's going to piss a lot of people off. That's my opinion. I don't find it to be the greatest fighting knife. However, if I need to get into a fight and I have this knife there, believe me, this knife will become a great fighting knife, because I am going to fuck shit up. But all in all, as an overall knife, this thing is just awesome. The edge took 0 damage. It doesn't look like it was even hit along the edge. I've got some dirt on the coating, and I guarantee you that that's going to wash right off, and it will look like it wasn't even used. The knife is more than proper. It's fantastic. I know I got this on base, on an Air Force base locally here, and I freaking love it. I can't wait to bring you the Big Brother. These two together are two very, very formidable blades. K-Bar definitely has put a smile on my face from day one when I bought it to day now when I actually tested it. Just fantastic work. These things aren't just pieces of art. These things aren't just hang on your wall. These things aren't just collectibles. These things are badass pieces of blade. And I say these things because I know the other one is too. So if you're looking for a great all-around knife, I'll tell you what, use the K-Bar fighting knife. It can do so many different tasks. If you need a go bag knife, a good hunting knife, a good camp knife, holy shit, this thing is ridiculous. I am Donnie B all day, and until next knife.